Okay, hi everybody. I am going to talk to you really briefly about an argument essay, just give you a quick intro to it. I know that your exam is going to be a rhetorical analysis, but you still have to know how to write an argument essay. But the good news is that most of you know how to write an argument essay. So I am just going to go over some important things, and I know you cannot see this from where you are, but I'm going to pick you up and show you in a minute. I'm just going to talk about this stuff that I have on here. So first, when you're writing an argument essay, you want to, can you see over here at all? You want to determine the claim, okay? But you want to determine the real claim, not the superficial claim. So what I mean by that is, if you think about that Udonis Haslam essay that I had you read, nobody talked about the real underlying claim, and that's the disparity between the haves and the have-nots, and how, yes, of course it's about COVID. That's a more superficial claim, but if you saw the stuff that I put on Canvas, I talk about how he talks about the real Miami, the real Miami, the real Miami, and he talks about it over and over and over again, and that's because that's what he's really talking about. He mentions how there's a Liberty City in every place, and he says if this isn't a wake-up call to America, he doesn't know what is. So that's really one of the things that would be talked about if you're writing an argument essay or a rhetorical analysis on this. So you want to make sure that you're determining the actual claim. You want to formulate your argument, okay? So that's the next thing, which translates into making an essay. So when you make your essay, you start with your introduction, and in your introduction, you are going to contextualize, and you are going to write a thesis, and your thesis statement should be the last sentence of your introduction. Then you have your body, okay? And you know what, I'm just gonna pick you up and bring you with me. Okay, so then you've got your body, and you have your evidence in the body. And different kinds of evidence that you can use in the body would be history, literature, pop culture, science, art, sports, current events, personal stuff. And it's not limited to just that. Like, honestly, anything. You could use anything for evidence as long as it's actual evidence that relates to what you are writing about. Of course, there are stronger things than others. I've seen stuff like this. I'm not just making it up. You don't want to use maybe SpongeBob. I have scored essays that are like that. You want to use more mature evidence than that, but basically anything will work. Then you have your body still, and you've got your counter argument and your refutation. Now, those are not necessities, but they strengthen. And then you have your conclusion. So then you have your evidence, and you've got concrete examples and not hypothetical, okay? So that's important. You want to make sure, all right, I'm gonna put you back. Okay, so you wanna make sure that you're not just saying, this is something possible, or making stuff up. Like I said, you can use personal, but AP scorers can tell. And okay, I know this isn't for your AP exam, but it's still how you write an argument essay. You don't want to make stuff up. If you did want to use something personal, if you have an actual personal story that relates to whatever argument prompt you have, that's fine. But really you want concrete, tangible examples where you could prove something. And then the last thing you want to do is make sure, I'm picking you up again, that you have a linear essay or a line of reasoning. And line of reasoning is definitely terminology that started being used a lot more this year, but all it really means is writing a cohesive essay that logically makes sense. You want to start out with your thesis statement, like I said, and you want to build upon everything. I don't know that chronological order is necessarily the right word, but you're going in order. You're going in order of ideas and connecting the ideas and having the ideas connect to the claim. Like, think about those videos we watched where, like the oatmeal one and the one with what the kids learn before they're even born, and how every time something was stated, it was connected back to that claim or thesis. That's what you want to do, and you want to show. You don't want to just drop in different examples. You want to make sure you're explicitly saying how these examples relate to your thesis statement and your claim. And for right now, that is it. I am going to find you some anchor essays and materials and stuff and let you know what we are doing next.